Good evening, Geckophiles and cinephiles across the globe. We are going back down the rabbit hole on Down the Rabbit Hole podcast, the official podcast for Movies Matrix. Please check us out on moviesmatrix.com to get all your latest breaking film and TV news. My name is Lo, representing Bay Area of the Northern California District of United States of America. And over on the East Coast, we got Emperor Bat Nipples Supreme. How are you doing, my friend?
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. Always a pleasure to be here. And honestly, we've got some really huge stuff to go over this week. It's going to be a bit of a longer episode, you guys, around 40 minutes, 5, maybe an hour, depending on how fast we go, because I might get a little heated over this conversation. MCU for life. But before we get into the Disney investors meeting, let's go over some breaking news from this week. So the first
before we do that, real quick, if you haven't yet, please hit that like button below, subscribe to this channel. We got some awesome content coming up. And also, please follow us on Twitter at Movies Matrix Pod. And then we can get into the news.
I did not realize you made like a whole slide for that. Okay.
I just want to highlight a little bit more. We got a very small following on Twitter, and we need people to know we're there. You know, reach out to us, talk to us.
But yeah, let's get into our first news story. So Matthew Vaughn, the director, creator of the first two Kingsman films and the current third one, The Kingsman, that's slated to come out sometime next year. I'm only going to say sometime because it's more than likely going to get pushed back again in our lives. But if you guys didn't hear this week, Matthew Vaughn announced that he wants to make another 7 Kingsman films aside from the third one coming out. So these 3 that we have currently, and then another 7, rounding it out to about 10 Kingsman films. Personally, me and Lo kind of touched on this beforehand. I really don't want to see 7 Kingsman films. The third one doesn't look that good, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the second one. It visually looked good, and the action was really cool, and the direction was good, but the plot really suffered. I really enjoyed the first one, though. But you know what? I will give it the benefit of the doubt if the third one captures me, or if they bring back Eggsy. And honestly, I forgot Colin Firth's character name already, because I feel I told Lo this, the gap between each film is too big. The first one and the second one is 3 years. The second one and the third one, that's a prequel that has nothing to do with the characters we've known before, is a 4-year difference. But Lo, what are your opinions on this new Kingsman universe that Matthew Vaughn's trying to create?
So the Kingsman series is very interesting to me because the first was such a pleasant surprise. It was a rousing success, a hit for Matthew Vaughn, and a star-making performance for Taron Egerton, who's super talented and eventually starred as Elton John in Rocketman and amongst other things. But Golden Circle was exciting. It had Channing Tatum and Pedro Pascal, and Elton John made an appearance in that film, funny enough, but it was a little bit underwhelming for my taste, and I just feel like, where is the audience for the 7 Kingsman films? The Kingsman is the third film in this series, which I actually am a little bit excited for. They're adding Ralph Fiennes and Jaimon Hunso, and it looks interesting as a prequel, but I just don't know what market they think they have to create 7 of these pictures. But for something that I am excited for, as someone of Filipino descent, Disney has announced that in March of next year, Raya and the Last Dragon will officially release in both theaters and to come home on Disney Plus. And it's a celebration of Southeast Asian culture. So there'll be a mixture of influences from like Vietnamese, Thailand, Filipino. And as a Filipino American, I'm super excited for that. And I'm also a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which the trailer for Raya and the visual design very much reminds me of that kind of visual style and like action-packed kind of adventure. Kelly Marie Tran will be voicing Raya. Some people like her, some people don't. I think she's wonderful, and I'm excited to see what the Raya has in store for us. How about you, Rai?
Honestly, I've been joining the Pixar bandwagon more so recently than I did in the past, and I'm excited for it. Pixar really hasn't done wrong. Sure, they've had a few missteps recently, but they haven't done anything wrong. Can't wait for Soul. Just want to say that right now. But yeah, I knew nothing about this film, and I'm kind of bummed that they're putting it on Disney Plus Premium. They're doing it the Premium Access, I think it's called. Especially with what happened with Mulan. I thought the Mulan was an absolute, excuse my language, fuck you to anyone who bought the movie, because within 3 weeks of it being on Premiere Access, it just went to VOD, and then it recently just came out on Disney Plus for free on the 4th of December, around 10 days ago. What is today? The 13th, the 14th? Yeah, 13th. So I don't know if they put another $30 price tag on this and the theaters are still open. I don't know what they expect to get out of this, but nonetheless, I'm excited.
Real quick though.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling they won't, because of how poorly received Mulan was.
What, $30?
Yeah, but if they do charge us
20,
I will be very upset as a fan of Disney and as someone that's excited for this film. I'll be very upset.
I wouldn't put it past Disney though to put a nice hefty price on this. And then
holy crap!
Whoa.
Take us away, Rye.
Yo, I'm like the biggest Spider-Man fan here. Alfred Molina, Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 Sam Raimi, I can barely talk because I'm so excited to talk about this, has been confirmed to come back to reprise his role in Spider-Man 3, the John Watts sequel in the Spider-Man trilogy for the MCU, along with Andrew Garfield, the Spider-Man of the Amazing Spider-Man universe, and Kirsten Dunst, the worst Mary Jane and love interest in any Spider-Man adaptation. I came hot with that. But they're coming back, and I don't know. There's been rumors saying that it's only a cameo. They're playing a big role because Kevin Feige at the Disney Investors Call said that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness connects directly into this film. And personally, I think they're all going to be cameos setting up for something much bigger, because I don't think they want to steal Holland's thunder in the third and finale of his trilogy, of the high school trilogy. So I don't think they want to do that. I definitely think the ending of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is going to connect with the end of this film. I feel like it might be a post-credit scene or like a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to play a very pivotal role. But yeah, just what are your opinions on this, Lo? I can't even talk because I'm in such awe.
So here's my thing. And hot take, you guys can come at me if you want, throw you tomatoes. But you look, I am a huge Spider-Man fan. He is my favorite superhero, period. He is my favorite superhero. But here is my problem with all of this. Why can't we just have nice things? Why can't we have surprises anymore? Like,
oh yeah,
like the genuine awe and wonder I had when Samuel L. Jackson appeared at the end of Iron Man with no inklings of leaks. No, like, hey, guess what? Samuel Jackson is set to appear in Iron Man. No, we just got surprised at the end of the credits, and it blew my mind. The hype was real. It was genuine excitement. And as excited as I am to see Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, Andrew Garfield, like, it's just so much information. And it's just like, God, like, why couldn't we save some of this news somehow, some way, surprise the audience, give us something to look forward to and genuinely enjoy in the film? That's my take on it. I'm excited for the news, but it's just like, I would have lost my mind if I didn't know some of this and I just saw them. I would have had such a more positively, passionately, genuine reaction in the theater, or however I will watch these films depending on the pandemic. But that's my take on it, man. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I agree, but I think it's almost impossible to ask for nowadays.
I think that's the state of the world we're in, huh?
I feel like no matter how hard you try, you're not going to stop it. No matter how, like when Avengers Endgame came out, I tried everything for spoilers. Bro, they still slipped in somehow. I muted everything. Like, I stopped talking to people for a week specifically. Bro, there's literally no way to hear rumors and leaks on it without people. I don't know. It's just insane, dude.
So, like, as if that information wasn't enough, on Thursday, December 10th. Oh, shoot. I forgot to add that little slide in. Hey, look, there they are. In the pictures, you can see Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy, and we will see them again. So after that epic Spider-Man news, there was a live stream for Disney's investors that us as fans got to enjoy. And holy moly, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, they dropped bombshells. And I thought we got news last week when WB and HBO Max announced their films coming to HBO, but Disney was like, oh yeah, check out what we got. And first off, we're going to go into some Marvel news. We saw trailers and footage for Loki, WandaVision, an all-new trailer, and we also got a trailer for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Right, break it down, man. How excited were you to see footage from these films?
First off, I just want to say I'm really glad that it's me and you talking about this, because they threw a lot of heavy Marvel stuff, which is more my thing. And I know you're a much bigger Star Wars guy than I am. So I feel like that we both have real diehard opinions on both of these. But to get into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, bro, I've been waiting for this trailer to release. I cannot wait for this show.
Would you like to enjoy the trailer really quick, or would you like to play it in the background?
Play it in the background. I really want to talk over it because there's just so much to admire in this.
For sure. Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to play it while you're talking. I just want to make sure it works.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But I don't know.
All right, ladies and gents, please enjoy.
Well, I'm just gonna watch it. Actually, I don't even want to talk. Put on the sound. Put subtitles on.
Shouts out Anthony McKee. Looks like Zemo's back.
Dude, I'm just amazed at how visually the show, how good it looks. Bro, that's so pause right here. Pause right here, Lo.
Yeah.
So back up to when this scene first starts of them in the plane.
Sure.
And then put on the subtitles. I want to show everyone a little Easter egg. What? Listen. So what? Read and then watch what he does. Does that remind you of any scene in particular?
Wait, is that kind of a callback to the original Avengers?
No.
Okay.
But dude, I love this shot right here. This shot is so fucking cool. This whole scene is so cool. Bro, they make Falcon a badass, dude.
Woo!
So, do you remember the opening of The Winter Soldier when Cap jumped out of the plane with no parachute talking to Brock Rumlow?
I do remember that.
That's exactly what happened. They were talking. He jumped without the parachute when Brock was looking away. Looks back. He's like, yeah, that's what he does.
Woo! Holy moly. Watch it on Disney Plus, folks. What a trailer. We finally got footage. We've been wondering for months about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And like Rye was saying, there's so many callbacks. I love at the very end of the trailer how he says, God, I hate you, just like he did in Civil War. Holy crap, man. And Candid Cinema is with us. How you doing, Candid Cinema? That's Editor-in-Chief Amanda. You can follow her on Twitter at AMNX Reviews. She was on our show a couple weeks ago.
And this only comes out March 19th, too. Not even that far ahead.
Oh, it's coming.
I think we expected that, though, because we knew this was relatively close to completing when it shut down. And now we've got Nia DaCosta. We just found out that I think we knew Rambeau was going to be in this film for Captain Marvel 2. And I think we all assumed Miss Marvel was going to be in this once the show was announced. But it's now confirmed that Maria Rambeau, that's her name, right? Maria Rambeau is in the film. Anyway, Maria Rambeau and Miss Marvel herself, along with in the directing chair, Nia DaCosta, are all going to be and directing this film. I cannot wait. I wasn't really a big fan of the first one. It's in my bottom 3 films of all the MCU movies. The only reason why I'm excited for this is it's a completely new team. It's one director. I heard nothing but good things about Nia DaCosta. I can't wait for her Candyman. I haven't seen any of her work, but I feel like Candyman is going to be the true decider about how I feel towards her. There's nothing else much to say about this, but Lo, what are your opinions?
So we have a lot to dig into, so I won't linger too long on this, but I will say it's so awesome to get fresh voices to tell these stories. And I didn't hate Captain Marvel. I actually enjoyed it a lot, but like you, it's at the bottom of my MCU rankings just because comparatively the MCU is so consistently good that Captain Marvel just didn't live up to the standard that we were expecting from Iron Man and to an extent like Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, all these characters that had such great opening films. I feel like Captain Marvel kind of just missed the mark a little bit. We didn't connect with Brie Larson's character, Carol Danvers, that well. But with all that being said, I think Nia DaCosta has a lot of skill. I can't wait for her Candyman as well. I'm a huge horror fan, and I love the original Candyman films. This girl, she's playing Kamala Khan. Forgive me, I can't think of her name right now, but she looks promising. MCU always has an eye for talent, and I think this film will surprise, and I think it'll definitely surpass the first one.
I hope so. But honestly, I can't imagine it going lower than the first one. Like, honestly, but this is a film I don't see many people talking about, and that's the full cast of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This film is gonna slap. If you follow Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi on Twitter, the dude's hilarious. I absolutely love him. We got Aquafina, we've got Michelle Yeoh, and honestly, I don't know who the other 4 people are, and I don't know who the character Razor Fist is, but dude, I just want to see a karate MCU film. That's really what I want to see, and that's what I'm going to get from this. And this comes out July 9th, 2021. A few mix-ups, but yo, Lo, what are your opinions on this? And by the way, this is also a no-name that they went to cast for the lead role.
So I'm so happy to geek out about this. This is one of the more like, people, it's off people's radar. People aren't really talking about this, but Tony Leung, if you guys don't know who he is, please go back and look at his epic filmography from his appearances in Kai Wong. Oh my God, Wong War Kai. He has numerous appearances in that. The original Infernal Affairs, which was the inspiration for The Departed. Countless films, Crouching Tiger. Hero. Tony Leung is a legend. He is like Brad Pitt or George Clooney in China. Tony Leung is an amazing actor. He's got great chops, and he can also do some martial arts skills, which I'm sure we will see. And Michelle Yeoh, if you don't know, she was in Jackie Chan's Super Cop. She has excellent martial arts skills herself. She also starred alongside James Bond in Tomorrow Never Dies. So between Michelle Yeoh and Tony Leung, we're talking about Chinese icons bringing a Chinese superhero to the big screen. And hats off to the MCU for making those casting choices. I am super excited for this film. I'm a huge Kung Fu guy. I love martial art films, from Bruce Lee to Donnie Yen to Jet Li. I'm all about it, and I cannot wait for this film.
Yeah, dude. And I want to, before we keep going, before we get to the Ant-Man news, I do want to talk. I really love that they're kind of just going all out with their titles now. Like Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's a very abnormally long name, especially for a superhero thing. But without a doubt, we got 2 more shows announced. Secret Invasions, which I think we all kind of assumed was going to be Captain Marvel 2 to a certain extent. And it's confirmed that, oh my God, dude, I love this. Ben Mendelsohn and Samuel L. Jackson are returning as Nick Fury and Talos in this show from Captain Marvel, the first one. There's not much on it, but just going off the stuff we saw from Captain Marvel, they're bickering and the way they play off each other is really nice. I just love their chemistry together, but that's all we really have on this. And Armor Wars, I was not expecting. This is kind of a boring title to me. I know a lot of people aren't excited for this, but I am a stan for Rhodey in the MCU. I love Rhodey, and I can't wait to see him finally get the spotlight he deserves. And this show is described as Tony Stark's worst nightmare is his equipment and weaponry being used for bad, which is kind of false, I guess you can say, because that was the whole point of Avengers 2. But we're gonna completely ignore that. But yeah, I'm just so glad War Machine gets his own series. What are your opinions on these two new Disney Plus shows?
I just find it so funny how Twitter, like I swear, like Twitter was joking, like, "Oh my God, War Machine needs his own show," and boom, we get a show starring Don
Everyone
Cheadle
hates
as
on it
War
now.
Machine. And I will say this: I don't know how excited anybody else was, but if you look on this channel, we actually, me and Amanda were able to live stream the show, and our jaws dropped when we saw this. Ironheart series starring Riri Williams, taking on like the mantle, so to say, for Tony Stark. And I think this is the best way. So many fans are like crying and, oh, we need Robert Downey Jr. back. No, we do not need Tony Stark back. But the best way to live on his legacy is through someone like Riri. And oh my God, I'm so excited for what that show could possibly bring and how this eventually could lead to Young Avengers with Kate Bishop. We saw Haley Steinfeld already cast as Kate Bishop. We saw Catherine Newton cast as Cassie Lang. And I'm so sorry, I didn't make a slide for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania. But what a party. Oh, dude, man. The new Avengers, Young Avengers, whatever you want to call them, it is coming, and it is so exciting, man.
I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of shocked they're doing Ironheart this early after Iron Man's death. I honestly would have thought they would have waited a few years to even not consider her, but to really start moving forward. And the fact that we even have a casting for Riri just shows that they're really going forward for this. It's casted. It's confirmed that the show's happening. I'm down for it. I don't know much about Riri. I just know she takes the mantle up from Tony, and she's super smart, just like him, maybe even smarter. And honestly, that's all I need to know. But with everything that's exciting, we've got some good news to say. Kevin Feige has announced that Black Panther 2 won't be recasting Black Panther, T'Challa, or Chadwick Boseman in the film, thankfully. But this film is also plagued with a plethora of problems on top of the passing of Chadwick Boseman. But Letitia Wright, who plays Shuri in the film, his sister, has gotten into some hot water, and it might not turn into a film about her. But from what Ryan Coogler has said, is the film will take place about the people of Wakanda. Now, it hurts me to say this, but that doesn't sound interesting to me. I don't know how on board I am with this. This project kind of seems in the abyss a little bit. I don't know where this project's going to go. Honestly, I don't even think we might get a Black Panther in the next film. You know, it might be a Halloween 3 situation here where they talk about the Black Panther, but he never shows up. And it's not that I'm afraid of that. It's just, I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't call it Black Panther if they go down that route. They should completely change the title and keep the IPs away and let Boseman sit under his supreme of being Black Panther. But honestly, just from what we heard, I'm kind of just indifferent and confused on this project as a whole. But what about you, Lo? What are your opinions on not recasting Boseman, and where do you think this film's going to go?
I think they made the right move. I'm so glad they didn't do a Moff Tarkin or Princess Leia like overlay of some other actor and just put his face on or something. I'm glad they didn't do that. And I will say this because I want to keep going, but I will trust Ryan Coogler. He's a great filmmaker, writer, and director. He did Fruitvale Station, Creed, and the first Black Panther was wonderful. I'm going to trust in his ability to make this work. I will say, though, like you, man, I'm a little bit nervous. Like you said, this could be like Season of the Witch, like a series of Black Panther without Black Panther. It just doesn't feel right. But I trust Ryan Coogler, and I hope that he can really make that work for us. So with that being said, the final jaw-dropping, like holy crap moment of the day was that Marvel officially announced that a brand new Fantastic Four film will be directed by John Watts. And I don't want to like rain in the parade, but
no, right on it. Go ahead.
I'm not the biggest John Watts fan. I love Homecoming. I was okay with Far From Home. It wasn't my favorite film, but I just will say this. The fact that the Fantastic Four, the first family, will be returning to Marvel is exciting, and I'm not gonna write him off just yet. I'm sure the film itself will probably be fine depending on the casting and how they portray the story, who the villain is. Maybe it's Dr. Doom, maybe it's not. But what are your thoughts, Ryan? And do you like John Watts?
Dude, I'm fucking ecstatic for the film. Excuse my language. I'm ecstatic for the film. I'm ecstatic for the director. Now, I get your complaints about John Watts, and I'll be honest, he doesn't have a visual style, which I think is the biggest complaint for a lot of people, which I feel like shouldn't be a massive complaint, but I do get it at the same time when we live in these massive tyrants of Christopher Nolan, where you know their films just by looking at them without even knowing it's theirs by their titles or something. But I feel like what John Watts does really well is he's really good at directing character interactions and having people have that chemistry together. He knows how to work off one another. I feel, and that shows in the Spider-Man films. Every time Peter has an interaction with someone, it's just a smile on my face. He understands the characters, and I really feel like coming off of Spider-Man. And if we get that in the Fantastic Four films, which I know has been a bit of a complaint, is they're not consistent. They don't know what they want to be, whether they want to be a family fun film or you have the Josh Trank, very dark and gritty, which I kind of liked in the film, but too bad the film sucked. But you get my point, is I feel like John Watts is really going to hit a home on the family aspect and the character interactions, which I feel like should be the strongest things of this film, centering on Marvel's first family. And dude, I really like the way he films action. It's very clear. You see what's going on. And dude, I'm just so excited. I've been one of the supporters. I've needed a good Fantastic Four film. I like the first two from the early to mid 2000s, but they're kind of just throw on. They're not very good and turn your mind off type films. You know what I mean? But the Josh Trank one, we're not even going to talk about that. But dude, I feel like Marvel's got this. They know what they're doing. Honestly, they haven't had a bad director yet, other than I would say
Alan Taylor.
Captain Marvel. Wait, what'd you say?
Alan Taylor did Dark World.
We don't talk about that film.
See?
We don't talk about that film. But so 2 directors out of everything, I would say, is a good track record. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, even though I'm ecstatic about it. And I feel like a lot of people are overblowing him as the director. You know what I mean? And honestly, I feel a little bit safer with the franchise of the Fantastic Four. It's been crapped on so often. I feel a little bit more comfortable with someone that Marvel trusts to come in. And he's shown his work in the MCU to be proven very positive. So I feel like this is the step in the right direction that a lot of people aren't thinking about. But yeah, those are my final thoughts on this. I won't even get into my fan casting.
So, you know, what's funny is normally we would be wrapping up the show around this time, but that's another reason why we started a little bit earlier today. That's just the Marvel portion. So now we're going to start digging into the Star Wars announcements and I will say this, but as someone that watched it live, the hits and the news were like a minute, just hitting you fast. Just, oh, boom, boom. We got this. And it was so hard to like contain excitement. And I wish I set up the live stream sooner so you guys could have enjoyed that reaction. But with that being said, God, Kathleen Kennedy was dropping bombs, and this was one of them. The next theatrical Star Wars film that we will see is Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins. Holy moly, Patty Jenkins of Wonder Woman fame. I got to hear your thoughts on this, Ryan. What did you think? Because we had no idea this was coming.
So we knew that films were coming, but we didn't know about what or by who. We know by who, Patty Jenkins and Taika Waititi. Ironically enough, we knew about Taika like a year ago. Yeah, we still don't know what the fuck he's working on. But I just want to say, you know, I'm not the biggest into the Star Wars lore and mythos that I am like with the Marvel stuff. Like, you tell me Marvel, I can name a good amount of stuff, but Star Wars, I have to guess a little bit. I'm not as informed as you are, is what I'm trying to say. But what I'm getting from this is I feel like it's going to be a Top Gun in space. And I feel like that's going to be really cool. It's going to change it up, and it's going to be something different in a Star Wars universe that's only had 2 spin-off films from the Skywalker trilogy. And personally, I didn't really like them. So hopefully 3rd time's the charm for me. So yeah, and honestly, I'm going to keep my thoughts about Patty Jenkins. I don't know how well she'll be able to film space fucking action with a bunch of things flying around. So I'm very indifferent on her. I feel like Wonder Woman 1984 next week or in 2 weeks is really going to implement my opinions on her. But right now, I'm optimistically curious. But without a further doubt, we've got a load. And when I say a load of just TV shows coming to Disney Plus, we've got 6 new shows coming to Disney Plus. Let's start off with I'm going to say the biggest one, just I see with on the Twitterverse and the community, and that's the Obi-Wan Kenobi show with the announcement of Hayden Christensen coming back. And I forgot you have like the whole slide of these, don't you?
I was gonna say I was like saving some of these surprises, but you dug right into it. So there it is.
No, I'll let you go over all these since like
there
it is.
I was gonna say.
Well, I knew as soon as I opened my mouth, I should have let you take it over because I'm like, watch me miss like a show or two, and that's exactly what I did. But
all right, real quick, I'm just gonna fire off, and I'll let you go, man. But holy moly! We got announcements for A Droid Story, Star Wars Vision, Star Wars Andor, Rangers of the New Republic, The Bad Batch, Lando, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka. And all of these shows will be found on Disney Plus. For anybody that said Disney Plus doesn't have enough new content, doesn't have enough original content, boom! Disney dropped the hammer, dropped the mic, so to say. And real quick, Droid Story will be an animated adventure set on focused on R2-D2 and C-3PO going on adventures. I think that'll be fun for kids. Visions will be a Japanese style animation for any fans of anime. And I know our boy from the Suit Up Geeks podcast and the Movies Matrix team, AJ, is super excited about that. The animation from the stills they showed us looked beautiful, and I think it'll complement Star Wars mythology great. Andor is Captain Cassian Andor.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Isn't there one more show called Acolyte that you missed? I just thought about it.
Oh crap! I did. And
I remember.
Oh, I feel so bad. We're gonna get there.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
You're good. So Andor will be about Captain Cassian Andor from Rogue One. It looks gritty. It looks like it'll show the dark belly of the rebellion, the espionage tales that I enjoyed. I loved Rogue One. Rangers of the New Republic will branch off of The Mandalorian, and it'll most likely feature Cara Dune as the main character, hate her or love her. The Bad Batch is continuing the Bad Batch tales from the last season of Clone Wars. These are 4 clones that are bonkers. It's pretty much like Star Wars style, like Ninja Turtles, where these characters are all different and they're all super fun. We got Lando, which is more or less a sequel to Solo in respects. Donald Glover will reprise the role of Lando Calrissian. I love Donald Glover, and I think that is enough to sell the show. And like you said, Rye, Hayden Christensen was confirmed to appear in Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I think broke the internet for at least 20, 30 minutes. And last but not least, which I didn't show on this screen, the Acolyte is a Sith tale set in the High Republic era. It'll be dark, and it was billed as a thriller. And I think for the Star Wars universe, it'll be exciting to kind of see the different takes on Star Wars tales, a darker, more creepier take, so to say. I can't wait to see that. Holy crap. What do you think about all of this, Rye?
I think you're going to find my picks, like what I'm most excited for, really interesting because I've not watched the Clone Wars yet, or I don't really I don't know if I plan on it. I'm not the biggest animation fan when it comes to TV shows. I don't know why, but yeah, so if I had to like rank these in order of how excited I am, personally, dude, I'd put Obi-Wan first. I think that's a lot of people guess that. The second one's gonna be Acolyte, dude. I can't wait for that more dark, gritty drama of the Sith, bro. I think the logo looks sick as fuck, to be honest.
I hate that I didn't put it there. I meant
dude,
to.
I think it's the coolest logo out of all of them, too. Ironically enough.
It has like a lightsaber slash through the word, and it looks so cool.
And so this is where I'm stuck. So I don't know if I'm more excited for Rangers of the New Republic or Ahsoka more. I liked what I saw from Ahsoka from the Mandalorian, but let's not forget that I don't really know Ahsoka as much as you guys do. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a little bit harder for me to get connected with that than it is for Rangers of the New Republic with Cara Dune, whether you know what happened or not with her. I don't know. The only thing that I think is the most pointless show here is Andor. I don't know why Cassian Andor is getting a show. That's the only one I'm not excited about that I could care less about. I also have a really big, I don't want to say gripe, but I feel indifferent when they do shows like this as prequels when you know the character is dead. Like I'm sorry, but at least with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, it's only set 10 years after episode 3. There's still a good amount of time after the show that they can cover. Lando, there's still a good amount of time. Bad Batch, there's still time. Droid Story, fuck that. Visions, I don't even know what's going on with that. But like, you get my point. You know what I mean? I feel like there's no reward for finishing the show unless it connects to another show, which it probably will, knowing Disney. So that's my opinion on Andor. Lando, I'm excited and I'm kind of glad it's a limited series. So I'm not kind of overhauled with new shows. And I'm interested on Visions. I'm interested. I want to know. I'm curious to know what a Star Wars anime show is going to look like. And a Droid Story I could care less about, I'll be honest.
I'm kicking myself for leaving off Acolyte. But
I am too.
I will say this, my final thoughts on this. The Ahsoka series, I think, is a win for all of Star Wars because Ahsoka is the bridge between casual fans who just was introduced to her from The Mandalorian and diehard fans who watched Clone Wars and Rebels, because she's going to tie all this together, whether or not you've seen those shows before. Please keep a lookout. I am actively developing my episode guide for Clone Wars. You can find that at moviesmatrix.com. It'll be a very streamlined episode guide so that you don't have to watch every single season to get on board with who Ahsoka is and her relationship with Anakin and her role in the Clone Wars before she appears in The Mandalorian. So I'm going to get that started for you guys. Keep an eye out for it on moviesmatrix.com. Rosario Dawson, just flat out, she's capturing the character in the best way that I couldn't even cast or imagine how good it would be until she appeared on the screen. So as an Ahsoka fan and as a Star Wars fan, I am so excited. Ahsoka is my number one show that I'm looking forward to, man.
Dude, I know there's a reason for this, but it bugs me so much about Ahsoka, and it really bothers me about the live action version. And I know there's no practical way of doing this, but it's one of those pet peeves that's just unfixable. I can't stand how the bottom of her ear things don't move in live action like they do in an anime. Bro, it bothers me when I see it go with her chest. Bro, those things should be flopping around everywhere. But I know for practical reasons that they couldn't do it. But I just want to get that out there. And bro, Obi-Wan Kenobi is gonna be fire, bro.
Hey, real quick, right? Are you caught up with The Mandalorian?
Yes, I actually just caught up yesterday.
So we don't have a lot of comments today, but Bob is here. How you doing, Bob? Thank you for joining the show. He's asking what we think of the new episode. And if you guys don't know, me and Rye actually have another podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at The Suit Up Geeks. You can find us on YouTube, The Suit Up Geeks podcast. And we just reviewed this episode on Friday. Me, our other co-host Dibes, and our other co-host AJ, we broke it down. And I will say this, kind of like a summarized version. It was a good episode. It wasn't my favorite of the season. It wasn't my favorite from Rick Famuyiwa, but I really enjoyed digging into who Mayfield is, because when we announced that, when Mando announced last episode, I need to find Mayfield, I was like, why? Why do we need Mayfield? But then this episode comes, shows us some more of his character. Bill Burr was really acting very well, and I got on board and invested in who he is. And now that I know where his heart lies and where his loyalties lie, I'm excited. I feel like we're going to see him again, maybe in Rangers of the New Republic, maybe at the end of in the finale, he'll come and help out Mando. But I really like the character of Mayfield. He won me over. And the episode overall, I enjoyed. What about you, Ray?
No, yeah, I completely agree. I think Bill Burr did an excellent job at the one scene toward the end before he shot the commander, dude. The entire scene, it's just holy fuck, dude. You feel it. You see it in his face. You're like, bro, this dude's about to break. And honestly, I didn't know how he was going to break. I didn't think he'd straight up just kill him. I'm like, okay, that's an option. I always forget how bad like all their defenses are. They don't, bro. Like, how did this power get to be so high when they can't even defend their own base from 2 people? I don't know. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, dude, I think Mandalorian's killing it. They announced that next holiday season 3 does come out. So that's exciting. I think we're getting 4 seasons, I believe, right?
Of The
Maybe 5?
Mandalorian? I
Yeah.
think we might get 5 depending on of how everything goes, but I think season 3 is gonna be monumental. I actually predicted on the Suit Up Geeks podcast that we might see a civil war for the planet of Mandalore. We have not seen the armorer this season, and we did get to see Bo-Katan, who we were introduced to in the Clone Wars, and Bo-Katan was the ruler of Mandalore. And the ruler of Mandalore, if you guys don't know this, wields the Darksaber. That's the icon of their planet. And Moff Gideon has the Darksaber. We don't know how he got it. We know Bo-Katan wants it. And for Star Wars fans, it's really exciting how that's going to play out. I think next season is going to be crazy. As wild as this season was, I think next season is going to be wild. And I cannot wait for the finale this Friday. Real quick, did you see the other news from Disney's Investor Day before we get out of here?
Indiana Jones?
Yeah, so James Mangold was confirmed. Harrison Ford is returning. I'm really excited for the Alien series that will premiere on FX. It'll be showrun by Noah Hawley, who has done Fargo, Legion, and just based off of those shows that are critically acclaimed, they look wonderful. And I love the Alien series, and I think if we can bring us back to the dark horror roots of this could be a really exciting new show to watch. Was there any other news from Disney Investor Day that you want to speak on real quick?
I wouldn't say news, more of a hint tease. Kevin Feige, I guess you can say, did a bit of a Daredevil tease for Spider-Man 3.
Oh God, I wish I made a slide for that. Damn it, I forgot.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about.
I didn't watch it, so I don't know exactly what he said. Do you remember?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember what words Kevin Feige said when he did the tease? Because I didn't watch it, so I don't know what he said. But honestly, I remember it was
that just must have slipped. I don't recall him mentioning it at all. From the presentation, he didn't talk about Spider-Man 3.
Are you sure?
I think from a different source, we heard like some confirmation that Charlie Cox will appear, and we actually posted the news.
Yeah.
I cannot recall the source for the life of me, but if that's true, thank you, internet. The internet hashtag saved Daredevil, and if this is true, Charlie Cox, oh my God, what a story for him, because he is perfect as Daredevil, and he deserves this. Have you seen the Daredevil series, Ryan?
Of course, dude. Of course.
And like, I mean, how good is he? I mean,
no, yeah, dude. Honestly, personally, it wouldn't have bugged me if they didn't go back to him, but I'm really happy they did go back to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he is perfect for the role. And it would be a little bit hard seeing someone new take it, especially after Ben Affleck was the one before Charlie Cox.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
Honestly, I'm so excited that Charlie Cox might get the chance to be Daredevil in the MCU. The man deserves it, and the Defenders deserve another chance. So let's get it. Oh, by the way, I want to bring up a quick little discussion. So let's say they do bring back Charlie Cox, right? Do you think they'll bring back the other 3 Defenders like Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, or do you think they'll recast them?
I think it's wishful thinking, but I wouldn't be opposed, or I don't think it's out of the realm of
Iron
possibility.
Fist, they need to recast.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we may get John Berthol unless he gets casted as something else like Wolverine. I think he can come back as Punisher. I think what's his name? Mike Coulter.
Coulter,
I think
yeah.
Come back as Luke Cage, and Kristen Ritter I think could come back as Jessica Jones, but I hated what's his name? Daniel.
No, it's like something Finn, I'm pretty sure. Dan Finn or
Finn
whatever.
is his character name, but I can't remember the actor, but I didn't enjoy his Iron Fist. If that gets passed, I wouldn't miss it.
Nah,
but
yeah.
If they don't bring him back, I don't see why they would bring back the others.
They need to bring back Punisher though. They need to bring back my boy John Bernthal, bro.
Yeah, John Bernthal was.
Bro, I think Bernthal's better casted than Cox. That's my opinion.
Hey, I think, dude. What?
Yeah,
that's a spicy take.
Yeah, but dude, I love Bernthal, and I'm gonna be honest. Out of all the Marvel shows that got canceled, season 3 not getting a season 3 for Punisher was the most heartbreaking for me, dude. I'll be honest. I thought season 2 was fantastic. I thought season 1 was fantastic. It didn't have a dip in entertainment like I feel Daredevil did. I feel like the mid-season of season 2 dipped for a lot of people, but dude, the Punisher just kept escalating. And dude, I felt like season 3, he could have gone all out because they teased at the end that he became the full Punisher, dude. And we'll never see that, but we might.
Fingers crossed. I trust the MCU, and I think if they ever do anything with the Punisher character, they would be amiss to not recast John Bernthal. So, you got anything else going on with you, man? Anything else you want to plug?
Nah, man. I honestly, we've just been chilling. We got the holidays coming up. I hope everyone has a good Christmas. We got one more show before Christmas, so might as well save that for that. But guys, don't forget, we got our Christmas draft going on right now. The Final Four polls are not out yet. Me and Lo are both in the Final Four. We'll see who wins. I definitely think Lo will win. We'll cover that next week. Definitely. Disney Investors was too big not to handle or cover. And dude, you see, this was a ginormous show compared to our like 25-minute shows. We went past 20 minutes. Dude, it was an epic night. Where can we find you, Loretto?
You can follow me on Twitter at Marcellus Durden. And you can also please follow us at the Suit Up Geeks. That's the Suit Up Geek podcast. Please follow this show's Twitter at Movies Matrix Pod. What about you, Ryan?
You guys can find me on at Just Ryan again. You guys can find me on YouTube at The Geek Fix and Twitter at Good Guy Rye is my Twitter, or not Twitter, Twitch. I confuse the two just like my URL handle does. I put in TWIT since the both of them both have those 4 letters in the beginning. It always puts Twitch instead of Twitter, and I felt like my voice just did that. But thank you guys for joining us for another segment of Down the Rabbit Hole podcast, episode 16. See you guys next week, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more entertainment on the Geekly Fix stuff. Peace, guys.